Good morning. It is Monday, April 22nd. We're 90 days out from July 21st. The DTD2 this week, you're calling your H's and your V's and you're texting your J's. Do the database too. Keep a set of call bias. Make sure that we're getting through everyone in our phone. We're talking to all the humans. We don't get, you can, let me clarify this. You can pick and choose who you talk to. And it's probably in our best interest that we don't, because we never know what's going on in someone's life. Something could have changed over the weekend. The person that you think, oh, they're not selling for 10 more years, maybe something changed. That's why the DTD2 is so important. It pulls us through our entire phone book, our entire CRM, your entire command, pulls you through every quarter. 2 letters to call, 1 to text every week, 13 weeks. Yeah, it's 26. It works. So we just need to apply it. And that's why we have that in the morning news for you guys to stare at every morning, should you be checking the morning news. If you're not, I'm happy to read it to you. Sit back, relax. So we're going to escape from here today at 10 o'clock. You've got Nicholas Dickolas. The Nathan Dickey is going to be hanging out in Portsmouth. It is in person only. It'll be in the training room. And he did this in York. There's going to be one in Meredith as well. He's just simply doing a NAR roundtable. So it's Q&A. You get to ask Nathan questions. He's going to wax poetic about his deep thoughts. Obviously, we're all having conversations, and you guys all have access to our amazing brokers. And now you get an additional chance, right? Because you have attended there has been the Value Squared National with Gary coming up again on Thursday. We're going to talk about all that in just a second. There's a local Value Squared conversation that you've had with JV and Nathan and Kaylee. And now there's an opportunity to do this NAR roundtable, which is just more Q&A, more town hall. Honestly, anything you want to talk to Nate about, but the soup of the day right now is our conversations about our value and making sure that we can intimate that. People keep saying, why is it called Value Squared? Well, the challenge is some of us weren't doing a great job describing and being transparent about our value, or you simply just couldn't intimate it well enough that you felt that you, behind that, deserved to be able to ask for your compensation appropriately. And this, more often than not, fell on the buyer's side. So when you really can't tell the consumer why it's important they should have buyer representation or what your value is, you skated right to the puck that starts with an F and ends with re. And that was a horrible idea. And everyone has been guilty of that at some point. Every realtor, whether you're joking about it or not, you probably use the F word with your buyers at some point. And I'll say this for the rest of forever. We are talking about our value now more than ever because we didn't talk about it enough then. So absent our ability to intimate our value to our consumers, we got to the point where we started marching around and we're throwing the F-bomb around and saying free to everybody. So that conversation, a little bit deeper, 90 minutes with Nathan Dickey. That's going on today in Portsmouth, 10 o'clock in the training room in person. Hang out with Nate. 1 o'clock, of course, every Monday at 1, you've got Ask the Brokers. That's at kellertv.com. And then 2 o'clock, you get Make Money Mondays with your region. The link is in the morning news. Now, other stuff you should be aware of. Don't forget, tomorrow, you've got an opportunity to hang around with the one and only KT Temple. He is our tech trainer. So some big things that are on the calendar this week. That is tomorrow from 1 to 2 p.m. tomorrow. And the link for that is he's doing paid ads, amplifying your reach with paid ads. So that is with KT Temple. That's tomorrow, 1 to 2 o'clock. The link for that is on the hub. And, of course, will be in the morning news tomorrow. Just want to make you aware of it. Of course, Wednesday, we're going to have contracts. After that, at 12 o'clock, the Shelley Lynch from Homes.com is going to be here in Portsmouth. She's going to give you about an hour's worth of information about how you can expand upon your relationship with Homes.com. And then she's going to hang out for the afternoon if you want to sit down and talk about your personal account, because there are ways that you can plus it. And then Thursday afternoon, of course, from 1 to 5, Gary and the crew live from Texas. It is Value Squared, the national conversation. And that is going to run, again, 1 to 5. We haven't seen it go 4 hours yet, so I would expect it's going to be 1-ish to 5-ish. It might run a little bit shorter, and I don't know if this is necessarily the last one. It's the last one on the books right now. We're probably going to keep running them. I think there'll be another version coming. We can't stop having this conversation. You'll probably see iterations of it start to change and morph and be like, oh, yeah, we used to call it value squared. Now it's called whatever. We just have to keep making sure that we are empowering ourselves and the agents around us with the ability to make sure that we can verbalize, use our words to explain our worth. Therefore, continue to have the ability to discuss our compensation in the open with the humans and the sellers and the buyers and the brokers, all that stuff. So, and again, the mindset is that by July 15th-ish, we're going to have like this hard and fast rule and everything's going to be set in place. You could ask anybody in this building. I think they would agree with me, and I think you'd find a lot of people nationally that would agree with me. We're probably not going to be there on July 15th. It's probably not going to be set in stone on July 15th. They're talking about that as a date. This decision still has to get blessed. Then you need almost half the country have to get buyer's agency in place. That could take a while. And then after that, you have to have like this national understanding that we're all going to play nice in the space. And here's the thing. I was just talking to a friend this morning and he's in the industry at another market center. And there used to be more, and you'll hear me say this at our market center all the time. There used to be more co-opetition, right? We would cooperate with each other. And there's no reason not to. Like, we're all playing in the same space. And everybody could argue in any industry, while the sandbox is small, you're going to run into people. That's so true. When you look and see the signs that are in front of houses right now in this market where it's challenging to bring new inventory, right, and new listings to the market, if somebody's got their name on a sign in a yard right now, I would argue they're doing the real work. And those are the people you're going to run into again and again and again, right? 20% of the agents are doing 80% of the business. It's the 80-20 rule. It's Pareto principle. It happens all the time. It shows up everywhere in business. So as your coach, as much as I want the 630 of you to be fighting for every kitchen table, as soon as someone wins the kitchen table, we now win the opportunity to go find the buyer. We're now in co-opetition. And brokers across brokerages used to cooperate more. And the fences were pretty high before COVID. And I think during COVID, it feels like the fences even grew higher. And we got to sort of burn those down. Because as soon as you get into a transaction with somebody, and not that you're disclosing anybody's motivation, we owe confidence to our buyers and sellers. I'm not saying this. What we need to remember, though, is as soon as if I'm working with the buyer and Kaylee's working with the seller, as soon as we go under contract together, now Kaylee and I need to work together to get both of our clients to the finish line. So sometimes this mentality, this bucket of kerosene that we bring into the transaction that we're all fighting, we got to park that attitude for sure. And I'm having this conversation with you today to make you cognizant of the fact that if you're feeling that from across the phone, from across the table, from across the deal, that's just people feeling jammed up. They might be involved in one of your 5 transactions. You might be their only transaction. And that's where we always hear about commission breath. The agent on the other side needs this to happen, or they're up against it. So when we're doing what we need to do to make sure that we're helping the people that we are in relationship with, it's a great opportunity to take a little bit of time to be aware of the fact that The frenetic energy around your 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 deals right now is better than the negative energy around 0 or maybe even 1. We need to come from an abundance mindset. And we do that by starting today. You know, infamously, people all the time are just like, hey, we got to, you know, I'm going to get started. You know what? It's going to be May 1st for me. Wednesday, May 1st, I'm going to get started. The month is almost over. It's the 22nd. By the way, it is Monday, April 22nd. For those of you who are getting ready to celebrate Passover at sundown. Why do we wait? Why do we wait? Another week and a half is going to change everything. We don't need to be great to start. We have to start to be great. Building those fast twitch muscles, having those conversations. And every day could be gratitude. Well, how do I call an unmet? How do I call someone I don't know? How do I call an aggregator lead and open with gratitude? Well, you don't. You have to introduce yourself first. But the second call could be gratitude. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't be using aggregators. They're in everyone's business. The heirloom seedlings of your greatness. I will die on this hill. The heirloom seedlings of your greatness are already in your phone. The people that you know and love and trust are going to be the game changers for you, the wealth determiners for you, for the rest of your career. And the more we take our mornings and treat them like jobs, we are allowed then, we're empowered then to treat our afternoons like careers. So what if you just decided the 22nd was good? Don't have to wait till Wednesday, May 1st. What if you just get started today? Because last Monday was the 15th. That was the 15th protocol. And you looked at your numbers and you decided you needed to make some changes because we used the 15th protocol to do just that. The 15th protocol is the 15th day of the month. Where am I in relationship to my goals? And most of us, whether in the midst of a challenge or in the midst of success, I would argue you should be tracking behind your goals, because as soon as you're tracking for your goals, you move the goals out a little bit further. It's like a buoy in the water. And if in the boat you can see the buoy in the water, you move the buoy out a little bit further. Because if we're not tracking for our goals, then we're hitting them. If we're hitting our goals, then we're stomping. And if we're stomping, we're stagnant. And if we're stagnant, we're dying. So as your coach, when I ask you, how far behind are you? I don't say that to be a pain in the ass, although that is my genius zone. I ask that because I trust, as the agent that you are, you're always moving your goals out. When you hit the 15th protocol, if you're behind, we don't lower the goals down. We move the activities up. Every one of us knows exactly what we need to do today. And why today? It's only the 22nd of April. Why don't I wait until May? Why don't I wait until next Monday? I'll be in a better mood on Wednesday. There's a million reasons to not do something. Remind yourself why you got started. And if you've got a handful of deals going on right now and you're like, Timmy, you're reading it wrong, everything's good, there's something in our business we need to work on. There's a challenge. There's an elephant in the room that we're ignoring. Maybe it's leverage, and I don't know if that's a tool, a system, or a relationship. Or maybe it's April vacation. And you're like, oh my God, it's April vacation. Not for everybody, but for a lot of people in the state. And are you not taking time because you're not taking time? It didn't occur to you? Maybe you're taking time later. And I'm picking on the mindset around vacation in general, right? Was it simply because you didn't plan one, or in starting to plan one, you realized, well, I don't know if I want to take the time off, or I don't know if I want to spend the money? And I know I say this all the time. Father William Fay, one of my deans from 1,000 years ago, said if you don't take one day off, you'll take every day off. And I'm sure that wasn't his. I'm sure it's stolen. But it's brilliant, and it's true. If you don't take an hour off today, you'll take all the hours off. If you don't take a day off, you'll take all the days off. So what is it that you need to accomplish before noon today to make you feel like you moved the needle? To justify taking some time later today to spend with your loved ones, to take a deep breath, to sit quietly in your own thoughts and plan for your future. As your friend and your coach, I give you permission. You can start today. If I can help with that, let me know. It is 603-834-2856. You can also book my face at meetwithcoach.com. See you in and around the Market Center and the internet. Take care.